Hey guys, we are playing with another new release. Charlotte Tilbury has come out with new versions of her Eyes to Mesmerize, her cream shadows. These have a matte finish. So I purchased all 5 of the new shades off of the Charlotte Tilbury site. I am so excited for these. I just recently got back into her regular Eyes to Mesmerize, the ones that are part of her line already. And I was using this champagne shade the other day. So in love with them. There's like oyster pearl that I've been loving. I will say, now I have not tried these new matte versions on my eyes yet, but the texture is completely different. Completely different. They almost have, let me see if I can show you one. They almost have like a Play-Doh kind of texture. Yeah, really different and interesting looking. So I'm excited to get these on the eyes. I really am curious to see how these actually wear. So like I said, there's 5 new shades. Let's go through each one. Here is a close-up of Nude Cashmere, which is the lightest shade. Next, here's a close-up of Flawless Beige. Next, here's a close-up of Smoky Taupe. Here is Chocolate Veil. And finally, we have Diffused Black. And here are all 5 shades swatched from left to right. Again, we have Nude Cashmere, Flawless Beige, Smoky Taupe, Chocolate Veil, and Diffused Black. These shades look beautiful to me. I will say the 3 shades in the middle, so the Flawless Beige, the Smoky Taupe, and the Chocolate Veil, they're pretty close. I feel like in person, they look a lot closer than they did on the swatches that I've seen online and the way they appear in the pots. So we'll have to see how they look on the eyes. So like I mentioned, not only are these different in finish from her other Eyes to Mesmerize, these do have like a matte finish, or they're intended to have a matte finish, but they feel really, really different. So they're much more dense. Her other Eyes to Mesmerize, they're very, very creamy. I almost feel like I have to be very careful how much I pick up, because if you just kind of jam your brush into the pot, you'll pick up way too much. It'll go right through. This is a lot more dense, almost hard. There isn't even really any give. So it appears like Play-Doh, but it's a lot harder. There isn't even that kind of Play-Doh give to it. So very, very interesting. Definitely not what I expected. And I'm sitting here just kind of running my finger over here, trying to figure out if they kind of soften up as you kind of work through them. It's not softening up at all. So it is a very, very hard, solid, hard kind of formula. Interesting. All right, so she does say on the box that you can use either your finger or a brush. I'm going to use my finger because of how dense this is. I don't know that a brush is actually going to pick it up well, so we'll give that a shot, but I do want to start with my fingers. So I've got Nude Cashmere, and I'm just going to go ahead and apply to my lid here. And wow, it's very, very thick. I almost feel like I can feel it on my lid. And these are also meant to be long lasting. I took a little video here of me removing the swatches from my arm, and it takes a little bit of elbow grease, and then you'll see that it's like that type of product that starts to kind of roll off. So after I went back and forth with the makeup wipe, you'll see like kind of bits and pieces of the eyeshadow come off. So this does set down, and it definitely feels less tacky or emollient. Not that it ever really started out to emollient, but it's a very thick kind of formula. It is, like I said, just not what I expected. So there's Nude Cashmere on my lids. You probably can't even see it. It's very, very close to my skin tone. But I'm just gonna apply that just to this eyelid because I do wanna get through all 5 of these shades. So again, that was just with my finger. I am gonna try the next shade with a brush just to see. So next up we have Flawless Beige, that's this guy. And I'm gonna try it with my Sonia G Jumbo Concealer Brush. Yes, Jumbo Concealer Brush. I think something dense is gonna help, and this is a pretty dense brush. So I'm just gonna go in. Yeah, this formula, it's very thick, and it's not sticky, but there's like a tackiness to it. Very interesting. Okay, so I just picked up a bit on my brush. I'm just gonna go ahead and brush onto this lid. Oh, that's pretty. I wonder if these could double kind of as an eye base. Yeah, I'm not one, I don't really like sticky eye primers, but I have heard people really enjoy them because it helps, you know, eyeshadows that you apply on top. It helps those eyeshadows to adhere to your eyelid, especially if you're using an eyeshadow that maybe is kind of notorious for fallout or something like that. I wonder, maybe we'll do that on this eye. But I like the way this looks. I don't like the way it feels. Like I mentioned when I applied the nude cashmere, you can feel this on the lid. There's Flawless Beige. That's a really nice kind of light transition shade. I'm gonna see if I can build it up if you want a more opaque application. You can build it up. Wow, there definitely is like a tackiness. I feel like my brush kind of like sticking to the product. And they are definitely matte. No sheen, no shimmer at all. Okay, next is Smoky Taupe. And this one is like a cooler version of that Flawless Beige. Let me find a different brush. I'm gonna take my Sonia G Worker 2 brush. This is one of my favorite brushes for like cream eyeshadows. So hopefully this will work. Okay, so picked up that much. I'm gonna apply it right next to this Flawless Beige because I do wanna compare these two shades because when I swatched them, they looked fairly similar. Oh, it's a little deeper, definitely a little bit cooler than the Flawless Beige. Okay, I just picked up a little bit more. I'm gonna see if I can kind of blend it over the other shade. I don't know if I like kind of layering these two colors one on top of the other. It's starting to look a little patchy here. Yeah, I think these are probably best as an eye base. We're gonna try some powder shadow over this, or as kind of like a one and done kind of situation if you just wanna like lay down maybe a matte color and then add some shimmer on top. I could definitely see using these for that purpose, but I don't know. I think just like trying to like shade it out with all of these different shades, it doesn't look that good. Yeah, it looks really patchy right there. Okay, I'm gonna use the other side of this Worker 2 brush. I'm gonna go into Chocolate Veil and I'm gonna apply it over on this side and see if we have any better luck here. Not so great, not so great. I think, you know, if you're going for a look like this, you would just use powder shadows. There's really no point in using these shades. And this shade, this Chocolate Veil, the Flawless Beige, and the Smoky Taupe, I just feel like I can't really see the difference. I couldn't really see the difference in the swatches. They look quite different in the pot, but I think because it's like hard to get down a good amount of product without it getting too chunky and heavy feeling, and it starts to look patchy. You just can't tell the difference between these shades. So far, not my favorite. We have the diffused black left, and I don't think I would use this just all over my lid. I think that would be a total mess, but I do want to try this as liner because if it is long lasting and it is matte, it may make for a good liner. All right, I'm gonna grab my Sonia G Pencil 1 brush and I'm gonna go into diffused black and apply as liner. Oh, this is a really heavy liner look. Okay, I actually don't mind it as a liner if you're going for a really bold, kind of like thick eyeliner. But what happens is it actually gets into your lashes and it gets really, like it clumps up your lashes. And that is not great. That is not great. Yeah, you can loosen them up a little bit, but definitely it interferes with your lashes. Okay, I'm just gonna remove everything I've put on, and then I'm gonna put the nude cashmere back down, and then we're gonna see how that works as an eyeshadow base. Let's try that. Okay, I just rubbed that eyeshadow off. My eyelids actually feel a little raw, but I put my foundation back on, and now we're gonna go in with the nude cashmere. I'm just gonna use my finger again. And I'm just gonna spread this all over the lid. And I think because it's so close to my skin tone, you really can't see whether or not it's patchy, but it seems to be going on okay. It still has such a weird, it's such a weird texture. I don't know why they made it so dense and kind of tacky-like. I was really hoping that this formula was just gonna be like the rest of her Eyes to Mesmerize, just matte instead of shimmery. Okay, I just grabbed this Charlotte Tilbury palette. This is her Instant Eye Palette, Smoky Eyes Are Forever, and there's 12 different shades in here. I think what I'll do, I'm trying to think what kind of eyeshadow would be best to test out this base. Okay, I think I'm gonna go between these two matte shades, because for the matte shades, we have these two, this one, and then this one. And none of these are quite light enough for, you know, what I'm looking to do. So I'm gonna mix these two together. Well, those mattes went on really smoothly over that nude cashmere. I was wondering if it was gonna be a little too kind of sticky and tacky. Sometimes I find those kind of primers just too hard to work with, where it's hard to like blend out the shadow, but these actually blended out okay. Over here you can see the blend. Next I'm gonna go into this shimmery shade. Let's see if it does anything different. Just gonna apply over here. And I remember these more shimmery shades, they had like just a little bit of fallout, and I actually don't see any fallout. So that's good. That's definitely a plus. And I don't see any fallout there either. Okay, well, I don't really know what to say because they're just so far from what I was expecting. Okay, let me just finish up my makeup and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so these were definitely not what I expected. The texture is very, very different from her regular Eyes to Mesmerize shadows. I've already talked about that. I mean, I think it comes down to whether or not I would actually recommend this. I don't think I would. I think that they're a little bit difficult to work with. I think that it works okay as an eyeshadow base if you can find one in a shade that you like. But I think that there are other eyeshadow bases that are meant to be eyeshadow bases that probably perform even better than this. I just really don't like the texture and the thickness, and they're really hard to like blend and move because they are so, like, they're really, really solid. It almost feels like they started out emollient and then they dried up. I'm just not a fan. I'm not really a fan of these, and I'm so disappointed. I was so excited for these. When I saw promo pics on Instagram, I was really, really excited. I thought, oh my God, matte Eyes to Mesmerize, like perfect for an everyday look. I started imagining like one and done shadow looks and everything, and they're just not, they just don't like blend easily. They're not fun to apply. My eyelids actually feel a little bit raw, and not even from removing them, but just from like having to work to apply them. It's just not fun at all. So not a big fan, would not recommend these, unfortunately. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video.